This was the deception of the century. Or is it the century of deception? I had my first set of twins at age 19. It didn't work out with me and their father. After a short custody battle, my time with them were reduced to weekend visitation only. I didn't make that hold me back. I picked myself up, and within 5 years I achieved my master's. I was lucky enough to get a job with a corporate company. I felt like I was heading in the right direction. I rented cheap so I could save to buy a house. To put me in a better position to get more time with the twins, my landlord kept pressuring me for more money. My then boyfriend invited me to move into his house. Bad decision. It was a good feeling living with him at first, but the moment I saw the auction sign outside our house, I knew something was wrong. It was bright red, freshly planted in the front yard like a warning flare. Bank seizure. Auction pending. The words blurred as my heart plummeted to my stomach. We'd only been living here for 6 weeks, and I was pregnant. Twins. There was no way I could go back to that tiny, rotting studio apartment with mold on the ceiling and a greedy landlord who kept raising my rent after snooping through my payslip. I was barely scraping by as it was. No way. So when Darren looked at me with those watery blue eyes and said the mortgage was in arrears, 6 months behind, that the house would be gone if we didn't act fast, I believed him. "I'll pay you back," he promised, stroking my cheek in that way he knew made me feel like everything would be okay. "As soon as I get access to my inheritance, it's tied up in court. You know how these things go." I withdrew $12,000 that afternoon. Back then, he seemed like a savior. But really, I was his savior. I had 2 kids from a previous relationship, a stressful job as a personal assistant at a corporate firm, and barely enough time to breathe, let alone dream. Darren was calm, dependable. He cooked. He rubbed my swollen feet. He listened. He even bought little onesies when we found out we were having twins. He said it was fate. I said yes when he proposed. It felt like a fairy tale, a dream come true, until the wedding night. It was supposed to be magical, but when I accidentally spilled wine on his cuff, he slapped me so hard my ears rang. The sting of his palm burned across my skin as he growled, "You're so careless. You don't deserve nice things if you don't know how to take care of them." That was the beginning. The slow, suffocating suffocation of my soul. At first, I made excuses. He was stressed. The pregnancy had made me emotional. But the truth is, Darren changed the moment that ring was on my finger. Or maybe he never changed at all. Maybe I just started to see who he really was. He told me he had a condition, agoraphobia. "I can't work, can't be around crowds," he said. "It makes me sick. I'm not like other people." He would stay at home, locked away in the darkened house while I worked. Every day, his face grew more gaunt, his eyes more desperate. He claimed he was suffering, a victim of his own mind, unable to face the world. I never saw a diagnosis, never heard a word from a doctor. But he was so convincing, so needy, so I worked. Overtime, weekends, from home while nursing 2 infants, every bill, every grocery, every school fee, every light bulb, me. He used my bank card more than I did. He would text asking me to buy something nice for myself, but it was never for me. It was always for him. He told me we were catching up on the mortgage, that every payment counted, that we'd lose everything if I stopped. He played on my fears, on the very things that kept me awake at night. I couldn't let my children end up homeless, living in the dirt. And when I hesitated, he would kiss my forehead and say, "I'll take care of everything. Just trust me. I'll pay you back when my inheritance comes through." Up to this day, it never came through. I guess it's still pending. And I believed him. Because what else could I do? There were 2 little angels to consider. Bright-eyed, giggly girls who didn't know what fear was yet. I shielded them. I swallowed bruises and smiled through school events. I learned how to match my makeup to my injuries. There were nights I cried quietly in the bathroom, toothbrush in hand, staring at my reflection and wondering how I got here. My dreams felt like someone else's life. I wanted to be strong for them, but every day that passed, I felt weaker. Then came the night that shattered everything. I had just returned from a late work event, exhausted to my bones. The house was dark. I walked in to find Darren passed out on the couch, a half-empty bottle of whiskey beside him. His phone was unlocked on the coffee table, screen glowing faintly in the dim light. I don't know why I picked it up. Maybe I was looking for proof he wasn't cheating. Maybe I just wanted to see if he ever said anything kind about me. Instead, I found an email. Congratulations on your mortgage-free status, Mr. Hensley. Your final payment was received March 2003. We appreciate your prompt settlement. March 2003. 2 years before I even met him. My vision blurred. I scrolled through his inbox, heart hammering in my chest, and then I found it again, his deed, paid in full. He hadn't owed the bank a cent in years. I stumbled backward, my stomach turning. It was all a lie. The auction sign? A fake. He'd stolen it from a house down the street and planted it in the yard. He had conned me, manipulated me, stolen 15 years of my life and nearly $1 million. I wish I could say I packed my bags and walked out that night, but I didn't. Fear doesn't work that way. He had trained me to believe I was nothing without him, that no one would believe me, that if I left, he'd take the girls. He'd destroy me. But as I stood in the silence of the living room, holding his phone in my shaking hands, I knew one thing. I wasn't going to let him get away with this. If you're liking this life story so far, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing. Maybe share with a friend or two, and please let us know where you are listening from. Let's continue. I had been an idiot, but now I was going to make him pay. I kept the evidence. The receipts, the bank transfers, the emails, the texts, and the recordings of Darren admitting not working, of him gloating about using my money. I even had photos of the forged documents he had created to make me think I owed him. I found a lawyer. Her name was Ava, and she didn't flinch when I told her everything. She looked at me with such fierce determination, it gave me hope I'd long forgotten. "You have options," she said. Ava built my case carefully. Every lie Darren had told, every dollar he had stolen from me. She didn't rush. She didn't panic. She made sure we had every I dotted, every T crossed. Darren didn't suspect a thing. He still had access to my account. He still took money without asking. But every dollar was now being traced. When I officially submitted the legal case against Darren, his reaction was volcanic. He screamed. He cried, he begged, he threatened to burn the house down. He told the girls I was abandoning them, but I didn't back down. We went to court. He laughed at first, said the prenup protected him. He told everyone the house was his alone, that I was just a crazy woman who didn't know what she was talking about. But then Ava presented the evidence, the falsified documents, picture from a house across the road of the stolen auction sign, the forged illness, recordings, emails, texts, and witnesses, even his own admission that he hadn't worked for almost 2 decades. Why would he? I was his golden goose. But his supply of golden eggs is about to come to an end. The judge's face turned stone cold. He didn't even flinch. "This isn't a marital dispute," he said. "This is fraud." The court ordered the house to be sold. The house was worth $4 million. I was awarded 2.5 for myself and the girls. And for the first time in years, I felt free. I bought a house with enough rooms to accommodate all my 4 children, just in case my first 2 want to come visit, with skylights in every room, a garden with climbing roses, a fountain, and a swing set for the girls. Their bedrooms were painted in lavender and mint, each with its own soft bed and a window that opened to the sound of birds. We have Friday night pizza, Sunday morning pancakes, and laughter that echoes through the halls. And I sleep. For the first time in years, I sleep without fear. I thought Darren broke me. He didn't. He taught me never to underestimate a woman with nothing left to lose. And now, I help other women do the same, because survival isn't the end of the story. It's just the beginning. Share this story to inspire someone. Stop violence against women and girls. Hey, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do so. Share with a pal, leave a comment or a like. It helps the algorithm to recognize us. It's free to subscribe.